We are going through decision theory, and under this unit we are going to look at the meaning of decision making. This topic surrounds itself on decision making. Then we shall look at the decision making concepts. We shall look at the decision making environment. Then we shall look at the expected monetary value approach, EMV approach, and its role in decision making. We shall look at the decision trees. We shall also look at the decision rules. So we begin by understanding the meaning of decision making. We begin by understanding the meaning of decision making. And we are saying that decision making is a process of selecting a set of alternative courses of action and the best option that is considered to meet the objectives of the decision problem more satisfactorily than others as judged by the decision maker. So ideally, decision making is a process of selecting the best course of action out of the several alternatives. And in day-to-day, we are all decision makers. We are involved in this process on a daily basis. We always have several courses of action, but we always select that which we feel will satisfy our objective. So that takes us to the decision making concepts. And here we are looking at four major concepts. The first one is decision maker. The decision maker is that individual, you and me, or a group. It could be a team of persons who are charged with the responsibility of making the decision. And that decision is made, as I've mentioned, is made by selecting one best alternative from a set of possible courses of action. So that is the decision maker. Then the other concept are the alternatives. And here we are saying these are events or outcomes that are available to the decision maker and are within the control of the decision maker. They are within the control of the decision maker. For example, construction of a large or small facility, launch or do not launch a product, and so on. So these could be alternatives, but they are within your own control. Then we have what we call the states of nature, which are circumstances or events that affect your decision, that affect the outcome of the decision, but are beyond your own control as the decision maker. These ones are beyond the control of the decision maker. For example, you might be planning to launch a product, but the market of the product may turn out to be poor, or it may turn out to be strong. The market being strong or poor is beyond your own control. Number 4, we have the outcome or payoff. And of course, you know that in life, every decision that we make is going to either be positive or negative. So that's the payoff. And here we are saying that for each combination of an act and event, there will exist an outcome. Now, these outcomes in economic terms are expressed in terms of profits, present value, or we can also consider some non-monetary measure. So these are what we call the payoffs. So each decision that you make, trust me, you will receive your payoff. You will receive your payoff one way or the other. So the emphasis here is that we are looking at profit. Are we going to profit from the decision we are going to make? Okay, and how much is the profit? So we look at the several alternatives or courses of action, and definitely we all want the course of action that will maximize the payoff or present value. So those are our decision making concepts, and of course our discussion goes into the decision making process, and this can be examined. I have given a summary here of the steps. Step number 1, we start by defining the problem. All decision makers seek to solve a certain problem. So what is the problem? Step number 2, gather data on that particular problem. Okay, here of course you're trying to have an understanding of the problem. Then what are the different courses of action? What are the different courses of action? So in step number 3, you list the alternative courses of action. Then step number 4, you identify the possible outcomes. If I take course of action A, what's going to be the outcome? If I take course of action B, what's going to be the outcome? And of course, as I've mentioned, all outcomes have a way they are communicating to you in form of payoff. So in step number 5, we estimate the profits or payoffs of the various alternatives. When that is done, we go to step number 6 to develop a mathematical model. As we are going to see, various models are available. We develop a mathematical model and use the model to generate the alternative solutions to our problem. We use the model to generate alternative solutions to our problem. Then finally, in step number 7, we select from the alternatives the best course of action, and that is the alternative solution. So you can further read through the PDF notes to look at the detail of each of these steps. Next, our discussion goes into the decision-making environments. Trust me, all the decisions you're going to make, you will be under a certain environment. When you're making a decision, you're deciding on the future. The future is uncertain. The future is very risky. So you wouldn't want to find yourself in an uncertain environment. So that of course tells us that as decision makers, you can make a decision under the environment of certainty. Certainty is a situation in which you have an understanding of the consequences of each alternative you're going to take. So the decision maker knows for certain the consequences of every alternative taken. The decision maker will always choose the best alternative in order to maximize their objective. If we are talking about profits, the decision maker will select that alternative that maximizes the profit or minimizes losses and costs. So certainty would be the scenario where, as a decision maker, you know the magnitude of the profits you know the level of costs and losses. So under the environment of certainty, there is only one outcome. Okay. For example, we are saying here that if an investor knows for sure that there is a better business in a service sector than in farming, then he will invest in the service sector, which provides better returns. This is a situation where you will say, my mother told me. Someone told you don't do this, but you go ahead and do it. Or do this, but you go ahead and you don't act. So that is the environment of certainty. I just wanted to paint a picture of the environment of certainty. Now, most business transactions are conducted in the environment of risk, especially when it comes to our field as business persons. All the decisions that we make are for the following day, for the following month, the following year. So it becomes pertinent for us to appreciate how things are done in such an environment. So the environment of risk, we are saying on the slide that it is a situation. The environment of risk is a situation in which the decision maker knows the probability with which each outcome is likely to happen. You know that there is a 60% chance of this coming out successfully. There is a 40% chance of this being successful. So that is the environment of risk. And we are saying that if the probability of occurrence is known, then the decision maker will attempt to maximize his objective by maximizing the expected monetary value. Or by minimizing the expected loss. If there is a loss that you expect, you definitely select the course of action that minimizes the expected loss. Then we have the environment of uncertainty, which is a situation where nothing is known about any choice that may be taken. You have various courses of action, but nothing is known about this. And that's why I should tell you that in your class here, there are certain engineers, there are certain lawyers, we have doctors. In the previous sitting, I had a doctor as well, but this lady was interested in knowing what accounting is all about. She was saying, you know what, these accountants of mine seem to be playing around with me. Today they say this, the following day they say this. So I want to know, what is this accounting? What is this double entry? So the lady was very curious and decided to enroll. Yeah, someone told her that, you know what, CPA allows people from different backgrounds, people from different fields to join. And indeed we do so, we allow. And that's why engineers are here, teachers are here, lawyers are here. They want to know. So they want to know. They want to practice or make decisions in environments that are certain. Okay? So under conditions of uncertainty, the decision maker is constrained because of lack of knowledge about the probabilities of occurrence. Okay? About the probabilities of occurrence, and of course the outcomes of possible courses of action can be understood if you get more information, because nothing is known about the various courses of action. Outcomes are not known. Payoffs not known. Not even probabilities of occurrence can be estimated with a certain degree of accuracy. So these are the environments we operate in: the environment of certainty, the environment of risk, and the environment of uncertainty. As you journey in your career, always make decisions in environments of certainty. Don't act on grapevine. Don't act on rumors. It will be very, very unfortunate to see that you have qualified as a CPA, but you still act on rumors. If someone comes to your office with grapevine, collect more information, especially if you do not know about what is being put before you. Very good managers always seek for information. They do not want to act in the environment of uncertainty. So as you journey, I know you're going to be very powerful decision makers, very powerful executive directors, heads of finance. First, get information. Okay, people will always come to you with this is happening. If you do not have information, wait, get enough information so that you don't act in the environment of uncertainty. So what is being communicated here is that good management practice works on certain principles. So we want to know, if I'm facing the environment of risk, what are the principles? How do I handle the situation? How do I select the best course of action? So in our discussion, we shall look at the various approaches that good practice has put forward so that we can also adopt and implement in our day-to-day decision making process. Now, if you find yourself in the environment of risk, there are two major approaches which are examined. These are going to be examined because they are widely applied. You, of course, as you read further, you find that there are other approaches. So, the decision maker facing the environment of risk can either use the expected monetary value approach or the opportunity loss approach. The decision maker facing the environment of risk can either use the expected monetary value method, EMV, or you can use the opportunity loss method. I will focus on the expected monetary value, and then the opportunity loss will come in as I also discuss the environment of uncertainty. Now, under the expected monetary value approach, the best course of action is taken to be that with the highest expected monetary value, EMV maximum. So you compute the expected monetary value for each of the alternatives or courses of action, and then one that gives you the highest expected monetary value is selected. The question is, how do we compute the expected monetary value? How do we compute the expected monetary value? So this is our formula. This is our very nice formula here. Expected monetary value is equal to the probability, because we say that under the environment of risk you can actually derive the probabilities. Probability times the payoff. The product of the two gives us the expected monetary value. So the probabilities, of course, are for each state of nature, and we say that the state of nature are the acts that are not within your own control. So we get the probability, and then for each alternative we know the profit. we know the profit or the payoff, so we are in position to derive this, and then whatever gives us the highest is the one that we are going to select. To support the foregoing discussion, I'm going to use August 2017, question 2 part A. August 2017, question 2 part A, we have Akelo, business lady. She's a hotel proprietor in Ntinda, Kampala, and she's planning to build either a small hotel or a large hotel. Akelo's plans will depend on the future demand of the hotel, the future demand the hotel will serve, and she expects either hotel to succeed with a probability of 0.5, which is a half. The profits expected from each type of hotel per annum in millions of shillings are provided in the table below. So we are given the possible future demand and then the type of hotel. So the possible future demand, this one here, is what we said are the states of nature. These ones here. These are the states of nature. And then the type of hotel are the alternatives. So this is what is not within your control. States of nature. And then this is what is within your control. Those are the alternatives. Those are the alternatives. We are required to determine the best type of hotel Akelo should build using the expected monetary value criterion. So what we shall do, we shall of course split the two alternatives. We shall have our alternative 1, because we are choosing from the alternatives, that is what is within our own control. Okay, alternative 1 is the small hotel. That is what we are told, small hotel. So as per the method, we have to look for the expected monetary value, which is equal to alternative 2 is the large hotel. So you have to look for that expected monetary value, large hotel. That is what we are told. Now I can get you. Small hotel we get 0.5 times 160 million plus times 800 million. So that gives you how much? 480 million. Okay. Then alternative 2, 0.5 times 200 million plus 0.5 times 270. I think everybody can confirm this. So which one should we go with, Jeremiah? Conclusion? Okay. Alternative 1 is the best option, since this gives the maximum expected monetary value. Okay, thank you.